"You're going to have sex with us," said the three giant women already living on the farm he bought. Jack Marley had always dreamed of leaving the city behind. The endless noise, the crowded streets, and the constant glow of neon signs made him feel small, even in a place full of people. When he stumbled across a small ad online, "Remote farm for sale. Cheap. Big land. Mystery welcome." He thought it might be the escape he had been waiting for. The farm was farther than he expected. The road twisted through rocky hills and long stretches of desert, dotted with strange metal towers that hummed quietly in the distance. As his old pickup truck creaked along the dusty path, Jack wondered if the place would be worth it. The sun was low on the horizon, painting the sky in red and gold streaks, and it made the land look magical, even if it seemed abandoned. When he reached the farm, he nearly fell out of the truck. The land was enormous. Rolling fields, stretching in every direction with a large, old farmhouse sitting in the center like a crown. But what caught his attention first were the three figures standing in front of the house. They were enormous. Jack blinked. 2 heads taller than the roof of his truck, shoulders broad like small walls, and bodies that seemed impossibly strong. They wore simple clothes, patched and faded, but their presence was undeniable. One of them stepped forward. Her hair was long and silver, blowing in the wind like a river. She smiled gently, her eyes bright with curiosity. "You must be the new owner," she said, her voice deep but calm.
Jack swallowed. Yeah.
"That's me, Jack Marley." The other 2 women nodded in unison. One had fiery red hair tied into a braid, and the other had dark skin that glowed in the sunset. Both carried small tools in their hands, one a hammer, the other a bundle of strange glowing rods. "We've been expecting you," the silver-haired one said. "This farm, it's been waiting for someone." Jack's heart pounded. He had imagined lonely neighbors, maybe a farmer down the road, but not this. "Waiting for me?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "Yes," said the red-haired woman, her tone firm. "The land chooses its owner, and it has chosen you." "I guess I'm honored." They didn't smile. Instead, the dark-skinned woman stepped closer, examining him carefully. She squatted down as if she could see inside his thoughts. "You don't understand," she said softly. "This is not an ordinary farm. You'll learn soon enough." Jack took a step back. "Okay. I'm all for surprises, but maybe you could tell me what this place really is first." The silver-haired woman gestured to the farmhouse. "Come inside. There's much to explain, and the night is falling." The farmhouse creaked as he pushed open the heavy wooden door. Inside, the air smelled faintly of herbs and metal. Strange markings covered the walls, symbols that shimmered faintly in the dim light. Old tools and pieces of machinery were scattered across the floors, some appearing decades old, others glowing faintly with an energy Jack could not recognize. "Sit," the silver-haired woman said, pointing to a long wooden bench. Jack hesitated but complied. The other 2 women leaned against the walls, watching him carefully. "We are the caretakers of this farm," the red-haired woman began. "Not just caretakers of the land, but of the life it produces. This is not a normal farm. It is alive in ways you will see soon." Jack raised an eyebrow. "Alive? You mean crops, animals, that sort of thing?" The dark-skinned woman shook her head. "More than that. This farm reacts to people. It listens. It tests them. It can give, or it can take." Jack swallowed hard. "Don't worry," said the silver-haired woman, smiling faintly. "Mostly it just tests patience. Most people cannot handle it. They leave after a few days, or weeks at most. But you have something different. The farm felt it the moment you arrived." Jack stared at them. This was more than he had bargained for. He had wanted quiet, solitude, maybe a small hobby farm. He hadn't expected a living, sentient farm, guarded by 3 giant women who seemed to know his deepest thoughts. "I don't know what to say," Jack admitted. "You don't need to say anything," said the red-haired woman. "Actions matter more here. You work, you learn, you respect the land, and it will reward you." Jack nodded slowly, though he had no idea how he would work with something that could think and judge him. The sun finally dipped below the horizon, leaving only the soft glow of distant stars. Jack stepped outside to stretch and noticed the first oddity of the night. The field seemed to shimmer slightly, like waves of heat over metal. Tiny lights blinked among the crops, moving as if they had their own intelligence. "Those are the farm's eyes," the dark-skinned woman explained. "It sees everything. It learns." Jack's mouth went dry. He had grown up on stories of strange alien worlds and haunted lands, but he never imagined being in one himself. And yet here he was, alone, or almost alone, with 3 giants and a farm that could watch him.
"Sleep in the east wing," the silver-haired woman said. "It is safest."
The farm's presence is strongest near the center. You'll want distance for now. Jack nodded and followed her instructions, his mind racing with questions. What kind of farm was this? Why had it chosen him? And what did it mean when the dark-skinned woman said it could test him? As he lay in bed, staring at the slanted wooden ceiling, he realized one thing. He was not in the city anymore. He was somewhere entirely new. Strange, dangerous, and alive. Outside his window, the 3 women gathered near the fields. They stood tall, their eyes glowing faintly in the night. Jack watched from the shadows, unsure if he should be scared or amazed. They didn't speak, but somehow he could feel their attention on him, a quiet, steady presence that was both comforting and terrifying. For the first time in years, Jack Marley felt truly alone, and yet more alive than he had ever felt in the crowded streets of the city. The farm was waiting for him, and somehow he knew the real adventure was only just beginning. The morning sun broke over the horizon in soft orange and pink streaks, painting the farm in a light that made everything seem alive. Jack Marley woke with a start. For a moment he thought he had dreamt the night's strange events. The 3 giant women, the shimmering fields, but as he sat up on the edge of his bed, he could still feel the weight of the farm's quiet presence pressing through the walls and floorboards. Stretching, he walked to the window. The fields were waking too. The crops swayed in a rhythm that seemed unnatural, almost like they were moving to a beat he could not hear. Tiny lights blinked among the leaves, like stars had fallen and nested among the plants. Jack rubbed his eyes. "This place is insane," he muttered. Before he could think any further, a deep, calm voice called from outside. "Jack! Breakfast!" He jumped, realizing he had almost forgotten the 3 giant women. Stepping outside, he found them waiting near the farmhouse steps. The silver-haired woman carried a basket filled with round, golden fruits that glowed faintly. The red-haired one had bundles of fresh greens, and the dark-skinned woman held a small metal container with a strange liquid that shimmered like oil under sunlight. "Good morning," said the silver-haired woman, smiling. "Sleep well?" "I think so. The farm didn't wake me up, at least." The dark-skinned woman laughed softly, a sound like distant thunder rolling over the hills. "It can, but it prefers to watch first. Sleep is part of its test." "Test?" The red-haired woman nodded. "Yes. You are new. The farm will test your patience, your skill, and your courage. We guide you, but you must do the work." Jack swallowed. He wanted this life of peace, quiet, and wide-open spaces, but he realized the farm was no ordinary plot of land. It wanted something from him, and he didn't yet know what. "Let's eat first," the silver-haired woman said, placing the glowing fruits in front of him. Jack hesitated, then bit into one. The taste was strange, sweet but sharp, like a mix of apple and lightning. His mind felt clearer for a moment, almost as if the fruit was waking something inside him. After breakfast, the red-haired woman handed Jack a tool, a long metal rod with strange symbols etched along its surface. "Your first task," she said, "is to clear the northern field. The weeds there, they resist. They will test you." Jack frowned. "Resist?" "Yes," said the dark-skinned woman. "The farm watches how you handle resistance. It learns from you. You may find the weeds are unusual." Jack took the rod, feeling its surprising weight. The metal hummed faintly in his hands, almost alive. With a deep breath, he walked toward the northern field. The sun was higher now, and the air was warm. The field looked ordinary at first. Rows of green stalks stretched for as far as he could see. But as he stepped closer, he noticed something odd. The leaves moved as if pushed by invisible hands, curling and twisting in ways that seemed deliberate. Jack raised his rod and tapped a stalk. It sprang back as if alive. He frowned. "Okay, this is weird." He swung the rod again, gently knocking the weeds aside. Immediately, the stalk shifted, forming a loose barrier in front of him, almost like they were blocking his path. Jack took a step back. Hello?" he muttered. A low rumble echoed across the field, though no clouds were in the sky. Then, without warning, several stalks bent forward, brushing against his legs. They weren't trying to harm him, he could feel that, but they were heavy, strong, and resistant. It was like the plants were testing him, seeing if he could stay patient and persistent. Jack took a deep breath. "All right, farm. I get it. You want me to work hard. I can do that. He started slowly, moving methodically, tapping, brushing, and clearing the weeds without trying to force them. The plants seemed to relax a little as he worked, moving out of his way more easily when he was careful. By mid-morning, he had cleared about a quarter of the field, exhausted but oddly satisfied. The three women watched from the edge of the field. The silver-haired one spoke first. You see? Patience is more powerful than strength. Most people swing too hard or too fast. The farm does not respond well to force. Jack wiped sweat from his brow. I think I understand, sort of. The dark-skinned woman stepped closer, her eyes scanning the field. Good. Now the second part of the test begins. Before Jack could ask what that meant, the ground under his feet shivered. Tiny roots shot out from the earth, curling around the base of the plants and forming patterns he couldn't comprehend. The stalks lifted slightly, creating a small mound in front of him, and glowing spores floated upward like fireflies. Jack froze. Is this normal? It is, said the red-haired woman calmly. The farm can reshape itself. It wants to see how you respond under unexpected situations. Many people panic here. You do not seem afraid. Jack took a deep breath. I'm not panicking. Not yet. He slowly approached the mound, trying to move the stalks carefully with his rod. The glowing spores drifted around him, tickling his face and hands. He felt a strange energy coursing through the field, almost like the land itself was alive and breathing around him. Hours passed. The sun climbed higher, then started to dip toward the horizon. Jack's arms ached, his back ached, and he had more than a few scratches from the stubborn weeds. Yet he felt exhilarated. This was nothing like the boring city life he had left behind. He was part of something strange, alive, and unpredictable. By evening, the field was clear. The plants, now calm, swayed gently in the breeze as if in approval. Jack stood in the middle, exhausted but proud. The three women approached him. The silver-haired one smiled. Well done, Jack. The first test is complete. Jack sank to the ground, breathing heavily. That was amazing. I've never done anything like that before. You learned patience, the red-haired woman said, and respect. The farm sees that, and it will respond in kind. The dark-skinned woman crouched near him, studying his face. But remember, this is only the beginning. The farm's tests will grow harder. It learns from your strengths and your weaknesses. You will need courage next, not just patience. Jack nodded, trying to absorb the weight of her words. He looked at the field he had cleared. It was beautiful, almost magical, and he felt connected to it in a way he had never felt connected to anything before. That night, Jack slept in the east wing again, but sleep did not come easily. He could feel the farm watching, waiting. Tiny pulses of energy seemed to move through the floorboards, the walls, and even the bed. It was a strange comfort, but it also made him nervous. The three giant women were nearby, silent guardians of a place that was alive, strange, and full of mystery. As he drifted off, Jack realized one thing. He had left the city behind, yes, but he had entered a new world, one that demanded more than he had ever given before, and he had no idea what the next challenge would be. Outside, the three women gathered by the northern field. Their eyes glowed faintly in the moonlight, and the plants seemed to ripple around them as if bowing in respect. "He did well," said the silver-haired woman quietly. "Better than I expected. But patience alone is not enough. Courage will be the true test. Tomorrow he will face it. We must see if he is ready for the farm's secrets." And somewhere in the heart of the farm, deep beneath the soil and the roots, something stirred. A presence older than the women, older than the hills. It pulsed with anticipation, waiting for Jack to prove himself worthy of the life he had chosen. The next morning, the farm felt different. The sun rose slowly, casting long shadows across the fields. Jack Marley woke with a strange excitement and a hint of nervousness. He had survived his first day, learned patience, and even cleared the northern field. But the three giant women had warned him that courage would be tested next. As he stepped outside, he saw them waiting near the edge of the eastern orchard. The silver-haired woman held a small wooden box, worn by time but glowing faintly. The red-haired woman carried a rope that shimmered like metal, and the dark-skinned woman had a staff etched with glowing symbols. "Good morning," said the silver-haired woman. "Today is different. You have shown patience, and the farm has accepted that. Now courage is required. Will you follow us?" Jack hesitated, but nodded. Aye, I'll try. The eastern orchard stretched for miles, but it was not ordinary. The trees were enormous, their trunks twisted like giant serpents, and the leaves shimmered with colors Jack had never seen, bright blues, purples, and golds. The air was thick, almost buzzing, as if the trees themselves were alive and aware. This is the Courage Grove, said the red-haired woman. You must pass through it alone. The farm will create challenges to test your bravery. You cannot fail. Jack's stomach tightened. Alone? But what kind of challenges? You will see, said the dark-skinned woman. It will show you your fears. Face them or turn back. Jack swallowed hard. The grove looked beautiful, but the energy that pulsed through it was intimidating. He had cleared weeds yesterday, but this was different. It felt personal. The trees seemed to watch him, and the shadows danced in strange patterns. He took a deep breath and stepped forward. The ground felt soft, almost like walking on clouds, and the glow from the trees reflected off his face. For the first few steps nothing happened. Then the shadows began to shift. Shapes emerged among the trunks. Tall, dark silhouettes with glowing eyes. Jack froze. Hello? He called. The shadows did not answer. Instead, they moved closer, circling him like predators. His heart raced. He wanted to run, but he remembered the women's words. Courage. The farm was testing him. He gripped his rod, the same one he had used in the northern field, and held it out in front of him. I'm not afraid of you, he said, even though his voice trembled. One of the shadows lunged, then paused midair. Jack noticed it wasn't solid. It flickered, almost like a hologram. The shadows shifted again, forming obstacles, giant vines twisting around trees, low branches swinging toward him, gaps in the ground that seemed impossible to cross. Jack realized the farm was creating a maze. Every step required focus, calm, and bravery. He could feel the energy of the grove reacting to his thoughts. If he panicked, the obstacles grew harder. If he stayed steady, they moved aside. He took another deep breath and started walking, step by step, slowly but confidently. Each time a shadow approached, he did not flinch. Each time a vine tried to block his path, he tapped it with his rod, carefully guiding it aside. The shadows hissed softly like a warning, but did not attack. After what felt like hours, Jack reached a small clearing in the center of the grove. There he saw a glowing pond, its water shimmering like liquid crystal. The three women were waiting at the edge. You have done well, said the silver-haired woman. You faced fear without running. You showed courage. Jack sank to the ground, exhausted but proud. That was intense. I thought I was going to get trapped in there forever. The red-haired woman smiled. The grove does not trap you.
It teaches you cannot face courage without fear.
Remember that? The dark-skinned woman stepped closer. But courage is only part of the farm's test. Strength, intelligence, and kindness will be required next. You must be ready for anything. Jack nodded, wiping sweat from his brow. The glowing pond reflected the trees and shadows around him. For the first time, he felt connected to the farm in a deeper way. It was not just land. It was alive, aware, and even protective. As they left the grove, Jack noticed something strange. Small creatures no larger than rabbits peeked from the bushes. They had translucent skin and glowing eyes. They watched him carefully but made no move to attack. The farm is full of surprises, said the silver-haired woman. These are the first of many inhabitants. They will test your observation and patience in the coming days. Jack crouched to observe them. The creatures were shy but curious, hopping closer and then retreating when he moved too quickly. He realized the farm's tests were not only physical, they were mental and emotional as well. Back at the farmhouse, Jack ate a simple dinner prepared by the women. As he chewed, he thought about the day. Patience had taught him control. Courage had taught him bravery. But he sensed there was more to learn, more that the farm would demand. Tomorrow, said the silver-haired woman, we will show you the heart of the farm. There you will learn about its intelligence and how it connects everything. The soil, the crops, the trees, even us. Jack's eyes widened. Its intelligence? You mean it's smart? The red-haired woman nodded. Yes, more than you can imagine. And it will respond to you, if you are worthy. The dark-skinned woman placed a hand on his shoulder. You are worthy so far. But the heart of the farm will know more than you expect. You must be prepared. That night, Jack slept with a sense of excitement he had never felt before. The farm seemed quieter than usual, but he could still feel the subtle energy moving beneath the ground. Tiny pulses, almost like a heartbeat, echoed through the farmhouse. He realized he was becoming part of something much larger than himself. As he drifted off, he wondered what challenges awaited him in the heart of the farm. Courage had been a test of facing fear, but what would it mean to understand the mind of the land itself? Outside, the three giant women stood near the edge of the eastern orchard. They gazed at the glowing pond, their expressions serious. "He has courage," said the silver-haired woman quietly, "but the next test will reveal if he can truly understand the farm." The red-haired woman nodded. "Patience and courage are nothing without insight. Tomorrow he will learn that intelligence is also a form of strength. The farm is ready for him. It waits for no one, but it respects those who try. Let us see if he is ready to see the heart of this land." Somewhere beneath the roots, deep inside the soil, the farm pulsed. Its energy reached out in all directions, sensing Jack's thoughts, watching his every movement, and preparing the next challenge. The land itself seemed to hum with anticipation, ready to test the new owner in ways he could not yet imagine. Jack Marley was learning fast enough to survive perhaps in a place that was alive, unpredictable and magical. But he was only beginning. The morning sun rose like a golden crown over the horizon, bathing the farm in light. Jack Marley felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. Today he would see the heart of the farm, the place the three giant women had spoken about. Everything he had learned, patience, courage, observation, would be put to the ultimate test. The silver-haired woman met him outside the farmhouse. In her hands was a small crystal sphere that glowed softly. "This will guide you," she said. "The heart is not a building or a machine. It is the essence of the farm. You will feel it, and it will judge you." Jack nodded, gripping the sphere. The red-haired woman handed him the rope that shimmered in the sunlight. "You may need it," she said. "The path is uneven, and the heart will challenge you physically as well as mentally. Remember what you have learned. The farm responds to who you are. Be honest. Be calm. Be brave." Jack swallowed and followed them toward the center of the farm. The land changed as they approached the inner fields. The crops were taller here, shimmering with colors that seemed alive. Flowers glowed faintly, and the ground pulsed softly beneath his feet, like a heartbeat. Finally, they reached a small clearing surrounded by enormous trees. At the center, a deep pool reflected the sky, but the water did not move. It shimmered with colors that Jack could not name, swirling like liquid starlight. "This is it," the silver-haired woman said. "The heart of the farm. Step forward, and it will test you." The moment his foot touched the soft earth near the pond, the water began to ripple. Shapes formed on the surface, images of the farm itself. He saw the northern field he had cleared, the Courage Grove, and even the creatures that peeked from the bushes. Everything he had experienced reflected back at him. Suddenly the water shimmered, and the images changed. Jack saw himself standing in the field, struggling with the weeds, then in the grove, facing the shadows. He realized the heart was showing him his own journey, the choices he had made, and the courage he had displayed. The water bubbled and shifted again. This time, it projected a new challenge. The ground beneath Jack's feet seemed to soften, and vines erupted from the soil, twisting toward him. At the same time, shapes rose from the pond, transparent, ghost-like forms of the farm's past caretakers, long gone but still connected to the land. Jack's heart pounded. He had faced the weeds, the shadows, and strange creatures, but now it felt personal. The farm wanted to test his connection to it, his respect, understanding, and ability to act wisely. He remembered the advice of the women: patience, courage, and observation. Slowly, he lifted the crystal sphere, holding it in front of him. The sphere glowed brighter in response, and Jack felt a warmth spread through his chest. "Steady," he whispered to himself. "Calm, steady." He reached out with the sphere toward the vines. The moment he touched them, the vines stopped moving, as if recognizing his intention. Jack carefully guided the shapes back into the soil, untangling the forms of past caretakers and gently restoring balance to the swirling energy of the heart. The ghostly figures paused, then bowed slightly, acknowledging his actions. The pond's water shimmered and cleared, showing a calm reflection of the sky. The farm seemed satisfied. The three giant women stepped forward. "You see now," said the silver-haired woman, "the heart is not dangerous. It is alive, aware, and connected to everything here. It tests not to harm, but to teach." Jack nodded, feeling relief and awe wash over him. "I think I understand. It's like the farm is a living being, and I have to respect it, not control it. Yes, said the red-haired woman. The farm responds to respect, honesty, and effort. That is why it tests owners. Those who fail cannot last here. Those who succeed can thrive. And you, Jack Marley, have succeeded. You have shown patience, courage, and insight. You are worthy of the farm's trust. Jack looked around at the glowing fields, the shimmering trees, and the calm pool. He felt a deep sense of belonging, as if he had found a place where he was truly needed. The farm was alive, strange, and sometimes challenging, but it was also beautiful and full of purpose. I don't know what to say, Jack admitted. I just feel connected, like I belong here. The silver-haired woman nodded. That feeling is the gift of the farm. It has chosen you just as you have chosen it. Together, you will protect it, learn from it, and help it grow. Jack smiled, finally understanding. He had come to the farm seeking peace and quiet, but he had found something greater, a living world that needed him, a place that challenged him, and a bond with 3 extraordinary women who guided and protected him. You will not be alone, said the red-haired woman. We will teach you, guide you, and work with you. The farm is powerful, but it thrives on teamwork and respect. Together, we can achieve much. Jack nodded, feeling excitement for the first time in years. He thought of the northern field, the Courage Grove, and the small glowing creatures that peeked from the bushes. Each test had prepared him for this moment. Now he was ready to embrace the life he had found. As the sun set behind the hills, the farm glowed with energy. The pool reflected the colors of the sky, the fields shimmered, and the trees seemed to hum with life. Jack walked among the crops, feeling the pulse of the land beneath his feet. The heart of the farm had accepted him, and he felt a sense of pride and responsibility. The 3 women followed, towering above him but smiling kindly. Jack realized they were more than caretakers. They were guides, guardians, and friends. Together, they would explore the mysteries of the farm, protect its magic, and ensure it thrived for generations to come. That night, Jack slept under the stars in the farmhouse, feeling safer and more alive than ever. The farm's heartbeat pulsed softly beneath him, a reminder that he was part of something extraordinary. He closed his eyes, ready for the adventures that awaited, knowing he had passed the greatest tests of all. Outside, the 3 giant women stood near the fields, watching the stars. He is ready, said the silver-haired woman quietly. He understands now, said the red-haired woman. Patience, courage, respect, he has learned them all. The farm is safe, said the dark-skinned woman, and with him it will grow stronger than ever. Beneath the soil, deep within the roots, the heart of the farm pulsed gently, content and alive. Jack Marley had arrived as a stranger seeking peace, and he had become the chosen caretaker of a living, magical land. A new chapter had begun, a chapter full of wonder, growth, and harmony between a man, 3 extraordinary women, and a farm unlike any other. And somewhere in the quiet night, the farm whispered softly, a gentle hum that promised new adventures, new challenges, and endless mysteries waiting to be discovered. Jack Marley was home.